there, fifth graders. Happy Wednesday. We are reviewing more skills today. Today is going to be a writing day. So in your bundle, you should have your daily fix-it. Looks like this. And then this sheet called Bad Ideas. We're going to work through these today. And we're going to focus on your writing. And the bad ideas, I'm going to get to that in a few minutes, but that is one of my favorite writing projects. And it's been, in years past, some of my fifth grade students' favorite writing project. So bear with me through the daily fix-it. We're going to practice that so that you have perfect punctuation to do a really fun bad idea writing project. So let's talk about punctuation and daily fix-its. Daily fix-its are sentences that have things wrong with them, and you are going to fix them. Remember, let's read this together right up at the top. Punctuation is so important. Let's remember these three things. Every sentence needs to start with a capital letter. Yes, every sentence. Every sentence needs to end with a period, question mark, or exclamation point. Depending on what the sentence does, if it says a statement, asks a question, or shows a lot of feeling, then you'll be able to tell what it should end with. And then every sentence needs a who and a do. You guys are pros at this. We've been working on this for a while. Today is your day to practice. So this is number 1 on your daily fix-it page, and it says, do you know any lullabies? Well, that sounds fine. So let's see what's wrong with this. What is wrong with this sentence? Okay, and things you're going to look for today are ordinary words spelled correctly, are plural nouns spelled correctly, and are things in the past tense. So let's look for these 3 things in this sentence right here. Do you know? Those 3 words look right to me. Do, you, know. Those are ordinary words. Any. Is any spelled correctly? It is not. This E needs to be changed to an A. So that would spell any correctly. And then lullabies. This is a plural noun, and our green one right down here says, are plural nouns spelled correctly? This one is not. Lullabies needs to be changed. And maybe you remember this rule. We're going to talk about it in just a minute. You're going to change that Y to an I and add ES. So lullaby becomes lullabies. And instead of just adding an S, we change the Y to an I and add ES. So there's 2 spelling mistakes in this sentence, and you can fix those right on your page when you work on that in a few minutes. So let's talk about plural nouns. What does plural mean? Plural means more than one. So like shirt becomes shirts. Toy becomes toys. Usually it ends in an S. Okay, those are ordinary plural nouns. If we have one shirt, that's just one. We call that singular. If we add an S, it becomes 2 shirts or 10 shirts. Okay, and that is plural. Let's look right here. Sometimes a plural noun ends in an ES, like box becomes boxes, ES. Class becomes classes, ES. If it ends with a Y, like lullaby that we just practiced, we change that Y to an I and then add ES. Here's a couple examples. Party. They went to one party. It ends in a Y. They went to 2 parties. We change that Y to an I and add ES, and it becomes parties. Cry. I heard the babies cry. Okay, ends in a Y. If we heard several cries, I heard the babies cries. Then we would change the Y to an I and add ES. And then sometimes it's a whole new word. One I know that you have done before, mouse becomes mice. It's a whole different word. Foot becomes feet. So today in your sentences, I want you to be sure to look for plural nouns that are spelled wrong, and I want you to spell them correctly. Also, you are going to look for past tense verbs and make sure that the past tense is spelled right. So past means it happened yesterday or it happened a long time ago. It's not happening right now. It already happened. Okay, it happened in the past. Usually this ends in ed. So talk becomes talked. We add an ed. Or cook becomes cooked. We could say, I cook this right now, or I cooked dinner yesterday. We add the ed. Let's try these two together. Watch, I watch TV. Yesterday, I watched TV. We would add an ed. And then color, I will color my homework tomorrow. Yesterday, I colored my homework, just the coloring page on there. And so we would add an ed and write colored. All right, sometimes a verb will end in its own way. And here's a couple of examples. Drive. We don't say I drived yesterday. We say I drove yesterday, or my mom drove me to school. With sing, we don't say I sang a solo last year. We say I sang a solo last year. Sing becomes sang. How about tell? I like to tell jokes. Yesterday, I told jokes. That's exactly right. Tell becomes told. How about make? She likes to make crafts. Last week, she made several crafts. Okay, make becomes made. So today in your sentences, make sure that the past tense verbs are spelled correctly and fix the ones that aren't. So you will have 9 more sentences to edit today on your Daily Fix-It. And these are the things I want you to look for. Let's read these questions together. Does it have the right end mark? This is a period, a question mark, or an exclamation point. Read the blue one with me. Are the words spelled correctly? Let's read the green one. Do plural nouns end correctly? Remember, plural means more than one. Let's read the red one together. Is it one complete thought? If it's not, then you'll need to separate it into 2 sentences. And then let's read this bottom blue one. In just a second, we'll make sure that black bar goes away. There you go. Does it sound right? When you read it out loud, it should sound right. If it doesn't, then you need to fix a mistake. All right. Now we're going to talk about our bad ideas writing, and it is right on the back. Now that you've practiced how to write things correctly, you get to write your own sentences. And today, you don't have to write a paragraph or a story. You're just going to write 10 complete sentences. Okay? But first, I want to ask you a question. What is a really bad idea that you've had? Have you ever had a bad idea? I've had a few pretty terrible ones. I've got some pictures of some bad ideas. This might help you come up with something. It's a little bit blurry, but this looks like 2 people are jumping off a roof, and one of them is even wearing a blindfold. That sounds like a pretty terrible idea. Why do you think that might be a bad idea? Because you don't know what's down there, and so you might land on something that could be really painful. Or you jumping off a roof, if it's high up, that could just, you might land in a funny position and you might break a bone or have to go to the hospital. That would not be a good idea. How about this one? Maybe you have ripped up your work before. Why do you think that would be a bad idea? Because then you would have to do it again. That is exactly right. So don't be like this person and don't rip up your work. That's a bad idea. Uh-oh. This has happened at my house many years ago. Looks like this boy is using crayons and markers to color on the wall. That is a very bad idea. Why do you think that might be a bad idea? Because somebody in that house might get pretty mad because they don't want colors on their wall. They want it to be nice and clean. And you might have to get out the 409 and spray it down and scrub it off. So, bad idea to write on the walls. Can you think of any more bad ideas? I bet that you can think of quite a few. You can even ask someone in your family. This could be a fun idea to do together. I think that some people might have some pretty bad ideas in your family, and you are very creative fifth graders. So I know that you can have a good time coming up with 10 bad ideas today. So here's the deal. You are going to write your bad ideas in complete sentences on this paper. Okay, we practiced punctuation, capitalization, all those good things. And I want to see these. I want to see good punctuation, good language use in your bad ideas today. So, this is the example on your bad ideas paper. And it's this one right here. It says, "It is a bad idea to wear a swimsuit in a snowstorm." Remember the very first thing we've learned about sentences this year? Every sentence needs a who and a do. The who is what the sentence is about. So right here, it is our who, okay? It, and what? It is a bad idea to wear a swimsuit in a snowstorm. So we have a who and we have a do, okay? It, and what is the it doing? Is a bad idea to wear a swimsuit in a snowstorm. Okay, so this is a complete sentence. Another way to say that would be wearing a swimsuit in a snowstorm, that's our who, is a bad idea. That's our do. Okay, wearing a swimsuit in a snowstorm is a bad idea. And as we read those out loud, we also can hear that they sound right. So those are complete sentences. They start with a capital letter and they end with a period, and they have a who and a do. Here is a bad example, okay? Same idea, wearing a swimsuit in a snowstorm, and then it just ends right there. Wearing a swimsuit in a snowstorm. That is not a complete sentence. It just has a who. It doesn't have a do, okay? And so you need to make that into a complete sentence. I'm looking for 10 complete sentences on your paper today. And I am really curious to see what kind of terrible ideas you can come up with. I want you, if you have some time today, when you're all finished, come up with your most terrible one. And would you email it to me? I use your school Gmail, and that'll show me that you are emailing, okay? And I just want to see how terrible the most terrible idea is. And I'm going to see which one is the most terrible, and I'm going to email that out to everybody. So it's kind of like a contest, and you can see if you can win. So is your idea more terrible than your classmates? So email it to me. I want to know. Have a great Wednesday and happy writing.